Nature likes to play a game of hardships and rewards. I heard Baird say that on a podcast recently, but who thinks about that when you're headed to the backcountry for a long weekend? I came back to Matagamasi because I wanted to see more of the lakes, do some fishing, and find some ancient pictographs. And I would do all of that on this trip, but all of that was just the reward. Okay, so I am checking out the first campsite I've come across so far to see if I'm going to stay here. The thing is, I don't know if I have that much time to be picky. What in the what? Is there a bucket and plywood? I don't know, this is kind of trashed. And it's pretty, but it's really heavily used. All right, let me get on the move so I can find something better quickly. I am running out of daylight here, so I have to just pick a site. I know that this one will be nice because I watched camper Christina's video in the same area and it looked like a really nice site in her video. This is where she stayed. Not sure if that's the landing or not. Golly, these bugs are crazy. Getting bit like crazy. Oh god, these black flies are crazy. These flies are like the worst I've ever seen them. I'm just trying to, before I do anything, start a fire to see if that like helps in the least. I didn't think I'd ever say that I'm happy that there's wind while on a canoe trip, but I am so happy that I've got a little bit of wind right now because it just blew all the black flies away. I'm actually gonna go ahead and start making dinner now. I've just really been craving barbecue for some reason. I'm gonna make some peach bourbon barbecue chicken thighs with some corn on the cob and a baked potato. I marinated the chicken thighs with barbecue seasoning and Italian dressing, and then I just added a peach bourbon barbecue sauce that I made before I got here. So dinner is ready. Peach bourbon, barbecue chicken, corn on the cob, and a baked potato.
Good morning. It's about 9 a.m. now. I'm just waking up. I woke up a little bit earlier this morning, like 4 or 5 o'clock when the sun was rising, just so I could get some shots of the sunrise. I feel like I could just keep on sleeping. I didn't go to bed until like 1 o'clock last night, so I really could just probably sleep another few hours, but I'd really like to have some coffee and breakfast. The other thing today I wanted to do is I wanted to fish. So I can fish in the area that I'm in this time. As of today, looking at the weather forecast on my inReach, it might even storm later. So around like 4 o'clock. So I've got a little bit of time. But I don't want to go too far either. And then tomorrow I'll do a little bit more exploring. There are some waterfalls up ahead called Carl's Falls. So tomorrow will hopefully be a better day for that. Okay, so it's not perfect, but at least I'll have somewhere sheltered and covered for when this rain kicks in. I'm going to make some peach and maple cream pancakes. So first thing I have to do is rehydrate these peaches that I dehydrated before I left. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water to them and let them sit for a little bit. It's starting to rain already. It wasn't supposed to start until 4. It's like 11:30. So, shoot. Right as I got my fire going and I was just about to make breakfast, suppose I could move it into under the tarp and finish up breakfast there. I don't know if the camera's picking that up yet, but there's definitely thunder starting now. Looks like the storm has come early. Well, I guess probably won't be doing any fishing or exploring today. I actually gathered a bunch of sticks and things like that and put them under the tarp just to be on the safe side, just in case it started raining. So at least I'll have dry fuel, and honestly, I will have a chance to just relax. At the end of the day, you just have to kind of go with the flow. That was some seriously loud thunder. I wonder if islands have a higher chance of getting struck by lightning, just because they're just like sitting out in the middle of the water. This seemed really cozy, like sit under a tarp during a thunderstorm, but it's actually a little scary. I did just get a little bit stressed just now hearing that. So the peaches are well past hydrated. I added them to the batter. So set your heat to medium-low. Okay, that might be a little bit too low, so maybe put it on medium. All right, the heat's a little bit too high now. The first pancake is always the worst, so let's try this again. I am going to break off a little piece.
all this whole like storm and everything delayed my breakfast, so I'm starving. R.I.P. to the first pancake. Oh. I didn't put syrup on it or anything, but that's alright. I got a lot more batter, so just hungry. I've got some sausage that I pre-cooked before coming, and I just warmed those up with the pancakes, and I'm about to add some maple cream. So maple cream peach pancakes. So I brought this book called The River by Gary Paulson. It's about a boy named Brian who gets lost in the Canadian wilderness and has to figure out how to survive. I think when I was like 9, I read all of the Hatchet books. I definitely read both Hatchet and Brian's Winter when I was a kid. I don't recall ever reading The River. So I figured what better time to read this book than now. So I decided that I am going to do just one cast, at least. I don't know, this could be a really bad idea, but every time, it probably is a bad idea, because every time I say that, it starts pouring. Suppose I'll wait a few till it stops pouring, till I get another break. I'm not sure where I heard this. I believe it could have been a Matthew Posa video, but I heard somewhere that either right before a storm or right after a storm is the best time to fish. Right, I'm going for it. Oops. Don't tell me I already got. Dang it. So another fishing lure bites the dust. So I think I'm giving up for now, and I'm gonna go ahead and make dinner, which is some beef soba noodle that I dehydrated. I was inspired by Kevin Ride's book, Backcountry Eats. So I basically just got some soba noodles and a veggie mix and dehydrated that. I'm gonna put some ground beef in there. And then I made a sauce with soy sauce, mirin, which is a sweetened sake, and rice vinegar, ginger, garlic. And I'm gonna rehydrate these noodles and the beef and then add the sauce and see if it's any good. This one is actually really, really good. I'd probably add just a little bit more veggies next time. I meant to bring some sesame seeds and I forgot. There is sesame oil in here too though. Forgot to mention that. The bugs are really bad this morning, but I knew that they would be.
There's like hardly any wind at all. I'm gonna do some shore fishing right here too, just while I'm here. But I do want to paddle through McCarthy Bay and then get to Carl Lake and Carl Falls, and then I will be leaving first thing in the morning. What is that? Is that a moose? If anybody knows what's making that noise, it's probably something like a toad or something like that. I brought just a little bit of everything I could possibly think of. I went to a tackle store and asked what I should get, but I went in Southeast Michigan, so they had no idea what to use up here. Hopefully something will bite. Oh my gosh, I got a fish. I think it might be a bass. I have no idea. It looks like a bass. I'm just excited because now I can have a catch and cook. I was hoping that I caught a walleye, but I think more than likely I caught a smallmouth bass. Okay, so the only challenge now is to try to clean this thing. I've heard people say that they don't really eat bass, but I've heard other people say there's nothing wrong with it. And in all honesty, this is my chance to be able to have a fish lunch because I probably wouldn't catch anything else. Yeah, I'm gonna have a brunch of bass and then, I don't know, maybe some hash brown potatoes. That sounds pretty good to me. Okay, this is harder than it looks. So far I've gotten that much meat out. Yeah, so still working at it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put the bass in here, but that's basically what I got out of it. So happy I brought this fish fry. Half the time I'm like, why am I even carrying this? Because I don't catch anything. I just rehydrated these hash brown potatoes, so I'm cooking these up now, along with the fish. All right, I decided to take a chance and actually take my hood off for a second. I also have my little Cholula to add to this. This is really good. These dehydrated hash browns actually hydrate really well. I don't know why people say not to eat bass. I think this is really good. I mean, compared to fish that you buy at the store, like, it doesn't taste fishy or anything. If I ever got lost in the wilderness and I at least had a fishing pole, a bunch of lures, tent, sleeping bag, and like a saw, that I would live. I could get food. Okay, so I'm off to do some exploring now. I plan on paddling through McCarthy Bay. I've got one portage to get through, and then I'll be headed over to Carl's Falls. Those things bite too, those like horse flies. Okay, I'm just ready to get back to my campsite and get back in my tent now. I mean, it's crazy, like, I'm bleeding like crazy around my legs. So I'm back in my tent and the flies are insane. I'm okay not eating dinner. I will just be just fine just hanging out in my tent because there's no way I'm going out there to cook. I think I have more bug bites than I've gotten in my entire life combined. My lymph nodes are actually so swollen. I must be having some type of reaction to these bites. So it's about 6:30 and I'm headed back to my car now. I've got about a couple hours of paddling ahead of me. Overall, I'd say that this was a good trip. I was able to do all the things that I wanted to do, and catching a fish and being able to have an actual fish meal out here is amazing. But I also paid for it too, literally in blood. I guess that is the circle of life. I feel like every trip deepens my appreciation for nature, but some trips deepen my appreciation for being able to have four walls around me and a shower. Literally like rain, wind, sub-zero temperatures. I think the black flies have all of that beat. Usually I'm like really anxious to hurry up and get out on the next trip, but right now I'm anxious to hurry up and get home to that shower. So it's been a couple weeks since I've been back from my trip, and there were a few things that I just wanted to share with you all. When I got back from the trip, both my legs were extremely swollen. Like, I didn't even have ankles. And what I didn't say in the video is that in addition to my lymph nodes being swollen, I also just really didn't feel very well the night before I left. And I had a little bit of a fever, so went to urgent care and found out that both my legs were infected, and which is crazy. I don't know why only my legs or why my legs got infected, except for the fact that I got the black fly bites, and then I did put my legs in the water at Carl's Falls, so that could be why. Either way, got antibiotics, got it all cleared up, so everything's fine. But I was just thinking, a lot of times I'll watch other people's YouTube videos or even the Baird Podcast that I referenced in the beginning of this video, and really take for granted the things that happen or that people say in those videos. It's crazy because going back and re-listening to that podcast, Baird literally talked about things like this happening to him with black flies. But in my head, I'm thinking a fly or flies just, they're more of a nuisance than being anything to worry about or anything dangerous. So that game of hardships and rewards isn't a game. And things that seem really small and minute can be really dangerous out there, especially when you're alone. So this has definitely been a learning lesson for me. And I just thought that I would share it with you all. So yeah, that being said, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you as always, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.